listening to the Contraritics Podcast, pushing back against the insanity of this world with arguments that may or may not work. And here's your hosts, Josh the Gun Nerd and Ian the Beer Nut.
Hey Ian, what are we drinking?
Yeah, what are we drinking? That's our welcome today, by the way. It's a version of the KBS.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, KBS has branched out into many different variations. This one, I think I found at Josh's Caps and Taps over off Bickford.
Yeah.
Haven't been there. It
might have been. I was there was you.
I think so, yeah.
So
I don't think I've been there since.
8 years, 9 years ago. 8 years
and
ago.
I was like, man, and I think it was probably Josh, the owner, but I was like, didn't it used to just be this one side? He's like, well, like, for the first year, and then since then it's been, I was like, well, that was the last time I was here.
I'm a regular.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me my regular, sir.
Right. And so I saw this in the fridge. Hazelnut Fudge. So
oh man,
their standard KBS is awesome. It's a great barrel-aged stout. But this is the Hazelnut Fudge version, Imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels. Crafted for the discerning palate, this KBS variant offers robust and decadent drinking experience. The aroma of hazelnut coffee intertwined with the velvety smooth embrace of fudge coffee and chocolate. Immerse yourself in layers of notes. Okay, yeah, just relax.
They're making this awkward.
Yeah, I'm getting awkward. Bottled on 1/8/25. So, yeah.
Oh man.
KBS Hazelnut Fudge.
Yeah, that's mouth-watering. I'm just smelling it.
Yeah, you definitely get some nuttiness off the nose.
Yep, it is fudgy.
Fudgy.
Oh man, I like that.
Yeah.
Want that to warm up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's even been out of the fridge for
more
than 2 hours. Or no, about 2 hours. Yeah, it's a 12%er.
Nice.
And I
had breakfast today.
Yeah. Like we say with these, like, you could totally drink it. This is one that you could totally drink a whole one of.
Yeah.
But also, like, just, in this case, it's almost a quarter of a glass is, like, just the right amount that is, like, a little more than a tease.
Yeah. If I was drinking a whole bottle, it might take me an hour and a half just because I'd probably give it half an hour to warm up and then an hour to just sip it.
Yeah. And you'd have your breakfast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know exactly what day I'll release this on, but we are healthily into November.
Yeah.
And the fall weather's kicking in. The leaves are falling.
Yep.
We're right at that tipping point where some of the trees have lost all their leaves. Others are like still hanging on to some of their decadent beauty.
Yeah. Yeah, we helped the in-laws with their leaf problem, and basically it was maybe 80 yards of driveway and a driveway width and a little bit more, and we did like 3 trailer loads, like 8x10 or whatever the size trailer loads, heaping full of leaves. And when we got done, we looked at it and we're like, and we could probably take another.
It looks
half
a little
trailer.
better.
Yeah, like it was crazy how much we cleaned off, and that was like 4 or 5 people doing work for 3 hours.
Right.
So, at least at our house, we can like blow it off the driveway and off to the side, and it goes down the hill, and we don't have to like truck it anywhere. So
yeah, where do they take it?
They take them across the street. They could just dump them anywhere on the property, but the neighbors across the street, I guess forever, they just have dumped all of their lawn stuff and leaves and all that off into a ravine. So I guess
I was going to say, it probably makes good mulch or something.
Yeah,
but.
I know. But yeah, they just dump it off the side. But yeah, we had like I don't know. I've come to this. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, but like the problems of small engines, trying to keep them running, and more and more as I can switch to battery powered anything, I'm doing it. Like as powerful as a gas leaf blower was, you just don't have to fiddle with it for half an hour. Right. If you're using a battery powered one.
I get the draw with small things. I mean, because forever, like I don't. Has there ever been a battery or a small engine drill, or
exactly.
It went from plug-in to battery.
Yeah.
So that for small things like that, like a leaf blower or something, totally makes sense. But I just have this aversion to like generators, quote unquote, that are
the inverter battery pack,
which I totally see a place for, like camping or whatever.
Yeah.
But in our region, like to get enough sun to make it practical, like if you have the solar setup, Jeremiah camping this year, up near concrete. Yeah. He was like moving his solar thing around all afternoon to get optimal sun or whatever.
Yeah. Now I do have, I've loosely put it on a 5-year goal, but I would like to get off grid entirely, to where our daily is running off of battery packs that I have to look and see like what I can make the most electrically efficient at our house, what I can move like our stove from 220 to propane. I believe that in 5 years, the battery will be good enough and small enough to where I could run our house for several days off of battery, and then use a generator, because we obviously have, for those of you that have been to our place, we don't have a lot of solar capability.
Right. Yeah.
But like, I would not mind.
You're deep in Mirkwood.
It is, and so we have better chance of hydraulic regeneration than we do solar regeneration.
Yeah.
But I would not mind running a propane generator every couple days for several hours to restock the battery power and remove the electrical connection we have to the grid entirely. And I don't think we were going to jump into it right away, or even today, but it does go into a conspiracy. So I tried. I didn't try to lead us this way, but apparently it's natural for us. So you've probably had, because you're closer to the city and all that kind of stuff, you probably have had the recent upgrade to your electrical where they can monitor it remotely.
You mean the meter?
Yeah.
If they haven't told us, which I would think they would need to shut it down.
Did they give you a notification for it? Okay, we got a notification, and they said they're going to be doing it in the next 3 months, and I think they did it within 2 or 3 weeks. And so these things are so accurate now that they can basically check into your whole life and know what you're doing. So they can know what appliances you're using. They can know what time you're getting up. It's generally used for, obviously for the electrical thing, but
because increased power draw probably means you're waking up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
are you using the toaster,
on,
the microwave, the dryer, and all that? And so in some jurisdictions, they are up to like 300 requests a year, if I remember right, from law enforcement to get what do they call it? Basically like how to monitor somebody's life, so they can know when to get them and that kind of stuff. I don't have any worries about that.
Yeah,
but
you don't have any outstanding warrants.
Yeah, I don't have any any known outstanding warrants. But I wouldn't be surprised if a van just came up and kidnapped me someday, and that's why I try to keep a moderate amount of weight on, and make it hard for them to drag me away. But and also I do like the idea of just being more self-sufficient.
Sure.
So if I don't have, right now I think we're paying $200 a month or every 2 months or whatever it is for electrical. And, I would like to just not be dependent on that. I'd rather, upgrade battery packs every 8 to 10 years than have to pay that out. So let's save the $2,400 a year or whatever it is I'm paying and put that towards battery packs. And
yeah, I would love to pay only $200 a month.
Yeah.
For electric. But yeah, we essentially have 2 households in the house. I have thought about like a backup whole house generator would be nice. But at least if I can get the one that we have running, it's like a.
Do you have a Generac or do you have?
No, it's some off-brand.
Okay. That's all I have is off-brand.
Yeah, it's like, and I think it's like 7,500 or 8,500. It's a decent size. That should be able to run, a fridge and a couple things. Because the other one that we have that does run, it's dual fuel, but it's only like a 3,500 or something.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the propane is it's not as efficient, but you get greater storage capacity as far as you don't have to.
Because we have like a 100-gallon tank that we could tap into if we needed to.
Yep. That's what I really like the idea about getting a dual fuel one is I can actually, I literally have like, I don't know, a tall boy propane one. I've got some 30-gallon ones and then all the regular 5-gallon ones and stuff like that. And so if I had those all filled, I probably could run, all year long on just what I have filled. So
right. Yeah, it's one of those things of, we've talked about this before. We talked about it more during COVID, but like wanting to be not only, wise planning, be the ones who are wisely planning for your household, but then also, hopefully, the idea would be also to have enough or to be a place of refuge of sorts or something to contribute to the community in time of need. If there was some sort of, if there's what are those electrical attacks?
Yeah, EMP.
EMP. I at least have a truck that theoretically should run during one of those. But
it should run now.
Yeah, it should. It should. But yeah, even whether it's food or figuring out how to store things, like it would be really cool to do like a root cellar or something.
What's the modern equivalent that I really would? It would be fun to kind of go in with a bunch of friends on. So like my buddy Mike that does the apiary and all that, his family is like insane, awesome, like canning. They do tons of canning. But the modern kind of equivalent of that is freeze drying. Yeah. And so you can get a freeze dryer, but they, a large size one, small one is like the size of a commercial microwave. But you can get a large size one.
They're a couple grand, right?
Yeah. You're looking at easily $4,000 for a larger one, if not more. But just being able to you can make everything from your camp food to your long-term food storage. And some of that's just stored in regular mason jars, or you put them in Rubbermaids, basically in envelopes, the foil envelope kind of a thing. Yeah. And you could have a ton of food storage that, as long as your water storage is good, you can do a lot with. So
yeah, and just as you're thinking about that, I was thinking about even the power draw to do something like that, like plugging that thing in, do like what is required to do that type of thing, and just even we were talking about before, just with needing power for things, how to be sustainable, how to be so using what we have for now to prepare for those times, and not counting on those luxuries later on, and how to be nimble and there's a part of me, you guys have a wood stove. I have thought about for a couple of years now, maybe putting in one upstairs because it's stupid expensive to heat our place. And frankly, we don't need it that hot, And that's the main area. That floor is the main area that we want warm. When you go to bed, you can put another blanket on or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, just thinking about the systems that we count on to stay functioning, and places like New York that are going socialist, like legit socialist, not just theoretical socialist, and how you wonder long term how those things are going to break down, because socialism always sounds great from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we're going to do all this stuff. You know, even the mayor, I was reading about her policies because I saw that she defeated the incumbent, Bruce, whatever, who sounded like he just sounded dumb anytime he got behind a microphone. Like he was always like, well, but just because they're a repeat offender, you got to understand, you know, what type of person they are and what.
Yeah, they're a repeat offender.
Understand their background. We need to have compassion for these people. You know,
I have compassion. It's called a wood chipper.
So like, and she was like, when I asked ChatGPT who this person was, like this Katie lady that won, so for mayor of Seattle, I think it was announced yesterday. She's like, you know, using, how did she phrase it? Like, available tax engines or methods, you know, like I was like, oh, okay. So like finding additional ways to tax people to provide for additional housing and additional, I was like, oh, it sounds like a different version of the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, but
how we have just done so well with that in the state. Right.
But how like that type of thinking can destroy everything that's been built here in this country. Like, this, you know, because I have my class studying the Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, Bill of Rights, those things.
How dare you?
And just how, like, this country was not founded on equal share for everybody, steal from the rich to give to the poor, forced donations, which is stealing, theft. You know, it was actually founded on the idea that it's the consent of the governed. So, like, we give you permission to have governance over us. We also reserve the right to,
rescind that.
Yeah, rescind that. And it's not guaranteed success on anybody's part.
Yeah.
The part about socialism is that it tries to level the playing field and force fairness where God doesn't prescribe it.
Yeah.
Like, God does not give the government the authority to take away your property to give to somebody else just because we say so. You know.
Yeah.
That is actual theft.
Yeah, because the government won't take any of their property for it. So you won't find like a governor saying, you can come camp out in my lawn.
Right.
You know, that rapist, you can live next door to me. That child molester, you can hang out in my breakfast nook.
Right.
You know, that won't happen.
It just removes motivation for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, why should I keep excelling? Why should I push for more? Why should I, why does the DMV suck? Well, it's because there's no competition for the DMV. There's no incentive to do a good job because guess what? They're not getting fired anytime soon. Unless.
And that is like, it's a rare thing that I've never heard of. that there's somebody that just has like the best DMV experience. Like it's across the board that if you are in Colorado or Washington or New Jersey, you will only have different levels of horror. You know, you won't. You can meet somebody that you have never spoken with before. You know, you meet in the middle of the United States and you're like, man, I was at the DMV the other day, and they're gonna be like, I was at the DMV the other day.
Yeah,
and it's all gonna be the worst kind of humanity.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know? Yeah. So these are coming from the government that wants to and has run and destroyed our healthcare.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going in to get my first license ever, and it was just like, I hope I don't ever have to go back there.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I feel corrupted having come into this place. Did you go to the Marysville one?
Yeah.
That one doesn't exist anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's reasons. Thank God.
Yeah,
I was actually, I think that was my first or second experience ever coming to Marysville. And at the time, Marysville was like this great white up north.
Great White North.
Yeah, like near Alaska, Canada, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Because we always went further south, and I was like, oh, I got to come to Marysville. Oh, and we go to the DMV, and it was like, oh, this is why.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, so what we're alluding to is so we mentioned not only the governor of, I don't remember what I said before, but mayor of Seattle, and then governor of New York, just full out in the open socialist.
Yeah.
There's nothing
problem
hidden.
Too small or too big that the
government can't solve.
Yeah, and then also we want to have government grocery stores. We need to close down the private grocery stores.
We're going to start buying up all these private properties, but with public dollars.
You know how they'll do
that?
You know how they'll do that? They will start finding violations on those private properties.
Well, they already said. That's what he said. He said.
Okay, that's interesting.
I posted a video of him saying, there needs to be safe work environments or safe. If there's something, not safe. I don't remember what the conditions are, but we will.
They'll just violate them until they own them.
We'll heavily fine them, and if they don't fix it, we'll take the property over. And the people were responding to the video saying, wait, take the property. That means you're just going to take it?
Yeah. Yep. They're already doing that. I was actually listening to the Breonna Taylor story. That was the nurse that was back during 2020 or whatever. That they
did a no-knock on?
Yeah. And that was actually part of the reason, from what I am gathering. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but they were going after these private property, like slumlords, basically, and after, if they had like 3 violations in a 6-month time period, then they would just buy the properties for $1. And so they were just basically using these raids, which you can justify the legality of the raid, but the reasoning behind it wasn't, to fight crime. It was for the local government to rob these people of their properties.
Yeah.
And then gentrify it. So I thought that was really interesting, a take I hadn't heard on it, and that was from the law enforcement officers that were, one of them in particular was kind of accidentally involved in the whole situation. So yeah, I mean, it's been going on already.
And I have mixed feelings about this whole like taxation is theft movement, where because I think things get convoluted where there is absolutely an abuse of government and abuse of taxation. I don't think we should have no government. I don't think we should have no taxes.
Yeah, not an anarchist.
Because it can't function without taxes. Because taxes is, it's like tithing out of church. That's how we pay for things. That's how this whole thing operates. And that was...
But, it's actually... A tithe is what percentage? I think about 10%.
10%.
Yeah. And your taxes are, 30,
for sure.
35%.
So there's abuse of it, and so I don't think saying all taxation is theft is a good mantra. I do think informing
current
people
taxation is theft.
Yeah, that there taxation can be theft, and there is theft going on.
Yeah, and I mean, we just know at this point that the majority of taxation has been theft because. There's been so much excess money that we are literally bleeding out all the holes of our governmental body in all the fraud and those kinds of things.
Corolla would always say, he lived in L.A. and he would always be like, we should have the best roads in the world for the amount of taxes we pay. We have the worst roads. We have potholes all over. And even here in Washington, I would say in Marysville they do a decent job. But like as far as the state roads and stuff like that. It
used to be that when you drove from Snohomish into King County, you were like, definitely into third world. Now it's kind of the lines are blurred and like King County is kind of like the dark side of the moon. And then everywhere else is third world.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it used to be noticeable driving into King County that you needed to buy bigger tires and better suspension and all that just to go down the highway.
That's where I'm trying to force my students to think is like, okay, but what did God give government to do?
Yeah.
And what is their God-given role, and how are they usurping that and trying to get into the family, trying to get into the church, trying to get into these other realms that aren't in their jurisdiction?
Yeah.
Because it's like a vacuum. They just keep consuming, and they just keep taking. If there's no one preventing them, then they're just going to keep taking. And if they have no moral compass, then what's to stop you?
Yeah. Like, here's one, and I keep alluding to it in different podcasts, and I actually found another one today, and it pissed me off a little bit more. That sounds good. But flock cameras. Actually, we've had Mark James and Mayor Nearing at the school recently, and it's got me interested in actually texting Mark and seeing
like the policy.
Yeah, like what are we? Do we have any kickback on these flock cameras?
Yeah, because we went over it before. It's a private company that's operating these things, and then privileged government bodies pay to be in their network. Yeah, which seems like almost like a private police force that people pay to like.
Which I'm not opposed to. I could kind of
I don't know. Yeah. I see a lot more in our Constitution about like provisions for militia than like a paid standing military. Like they actually had. Oh yeah. They kind of had their hair got bristled when you talk about a standing military because they were having to quarter troops, against their will. And
this is where I kind of try to stifle a donkey laugh when I talk about. Not doing the Pledge of Allegiance with somebody that was in the military, and they're like, "Why are you, so unpatriotic?" And that's not what the founding fathers was like. And this is like across the board. Every one person that's been in the military that like fully is on board with it, but everybody else that I talk to that have been in the military think it's so unpatriotic. And I'm like, do you actually understand that? Having a standing military is actually not very patriotic.
Yeah. I mean, and to be honest, like there's a lot of things in the original provisions that were based on 13 colonies and like a much. Obviously, it worked to expand it, but in their mindset, like what was they're making provisions for. Basically they allowed a state to respond with military with a military response only if there was attack upon them and there was no time to request approval from Congress. But otherwise, it was expected that there would be approval from Congress. And I asked the kids, when was the last major war that the president first asked for congressional approval? And they had guesses all over the place. One person did it. I mean, there's only so many wars, but somebody eventually guessed, and I believe it's World War II. Yep. And I was like, so guys, so even if there's the right provisions, it doesn't mean that they're going to be followed, that the protocol is going to be followed. Each branch, that is actually the idea, is of having different branches and different levels of accountability, that there was an expectation that all men are evil. All men they're created equal, but they're all equally fallen.
Equally fallen,
And they're going to try to edge for as much position as they can. Yeah. And there should be checks and balances to that. And so they had a healthy distrust of their fellow American while also wanting to create liberty and prosperity.
Yeah. It was interesting. I took a look at the amount of so in the colonies around the late 1700s, there was about 5 million people in North America. Or mainly in the east.
I think by the Civil War there was about 30 million or something like that.
And we're looking at 350 million right now. And it's like
undocumented, unknown.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like obviously we have, a larger amount of representatives that, are representing us,
but not proportional to what
not
they had.
Proportional. Yeah. It's so to me, I'm like, can one little, district in one side of our continent cover the governance of an entire continent and its people and represent that well? No.
Well, that is why they had the Federalist versus Anti-Federalist debate and papers back and forth, because there was legitimate concern about, but we know how corruption works, and if we have this centralized authority, how is that going to, is this debate of, do you have localized authority or do you have central, and what is the balance between the two? And ultimately, the Bill of Rights was thankfully a concession on the part of the Federalists, saying, okay, you can have these Bill of Rights, I guess we'll include those. Like things that we rely on, First and Second Amendment, freedom of speech, and right to bear arms. I did quiz the class a little bit, like, okay, yeah, it's the gun one, but that's what they said, the gun one.
The gun one.
I said, but like, what is it? How does the amendment start? Like, what does it talk about at the very beginning? And I tried to drop all the clues that I could. Finally said militia, and it didn't really ring a bell. Like, what do you mean by that? What's a militia? But I'm like, that's what they were first concerned with. And militia via firearms, via a militia, in order to, prevent the oppression of the people through force, and whether that be from domestic or foreign.
Yeah.
But we have a treat in front of us. So says the can.
Oh, man.
Matchless treat, Imperial Dark Ale. This
smells like marshmallows.
The art looks like a Butterfinger.
It does.
It says it's that time of year again.
It is a treat.
the leaves are falling. The air is fruitfully brisk. That can only mean one thing. It's trick-or-treat season, and we do have a king-sized can treat for you. The Imperial Dark Ale is full of rich chocolate, peanut butter, and toffee flavor.
Holy smokes.
It's the perfect treat for you while the kids open up their treats. Adjuncts: cocoa nibs, peanut butter, toffee. Descriptors: peanut butter, toffee, chocolate. It's a 9%er. Not barrel-aged, just... and dark ale, not necessarily a stout.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what, is that the grain bill that determines a stout versus a dark ale?
Yeah.
Probably.
It's those things that we should know by now.
Yes.
And I probably knew at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the nose, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably would be even better as it warms up as well.
Yep. A good toffee.
Yeah.
Toffee on the nose when I took my first sip.
There is, peanut butter. The one thing I'll give the KBS, the KBS I think is just...
it's definitely more rich because it's barrel aged, and so concentrated sugars, concentrated all the flavors.
And I think whatever evaporation happens in a barrel just adds to the viscosity, which helps it to hang out on the tongue a lot more. So this one is the treat, which it is also not going to be as viscous and
okay. So and I did just look up a dark ale is a broad category that includes any ale with a dark color, from amber to nearly black. So it's just saying, hey, we're brewing something dark.
All right.
A stout is known for being richer and more heavily roasted. So roasted barley or very dark malts that create a coffee, burnt toasty notes. So yeah, it's not necessarily in the grain bill itself, more in the roasty because I would say that's a characteristic of, aside from barrel aged stouts are usually not necessarily in the hoppy sense, but they do have a sharpness to them, kind of like a coffee or something like that. Whereas this is more mellow and more obviously it's meant to be a sweeter ale.
Why is it that we don't have more stouts and porters.
Yeah, it's market driven, I think, because
Yeah.
I think we just, I mean, just like anything in society, it's trends, and they love to make all the jokes about IPA bros and stuff like that. And sure, some of those are valid, but I don't know. I think I like a change in season, a change in what you're drinking and what is
totally
what fits.
It's so hard to find stouts and porters other than like the same 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
You can get Black Butte. You can get around here Black Cat if you look for a little bit from Mac and Jack's.
And then Colshawn does they do a porter, and then there's the one that you like.
Yeah, the Dark Star.
Oh, Dark Star, yeah, that's Fremont, and then that other one that you always think is Russian River.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Old Rasputin. Yeah,
Old Rasputin.
Yeah, that's pretty much like if they have them, if they do, that's what you find. But you can find 97 different IPAs.
Yeah, I mean, ask RJ. It's market driven. I mean, that's why his menu, like, he has a variety on there.
Yeah,
but vast majority are IPAs because that's what people come in to consume.
So how can we encourage the market to push more darks? I mean, I don't even want a 50% market share. I just want like a 20% market share.
Yeah,
because I have actually enjoyed IPAs more that I'm drinking them less, but I've always been a darker beer person, and it's like I just enjoy that altogether more than anything else.
This is really pleasant. I mean, like, for not being barrel aged, it's it's not overly sweet, but definitely on a sweeter style of beer.
Yeah.
And yeah, as far as encouraging that, I don't know. I mean, like I say, it's trends. It's what's popular at the moment. And I mean, like the Bud Light guys, they're going to keep drinking Bud Light year round.
Well, I mean, you can't account for not having taste.
Right. But yeah, I think variety is good. I remember the first time I had barley wine, and I was like, what is this? It was like, I think it was when we were in North Carolina. I went to a brewery tour, which don't happen anymore, but you got like a free beer with the tour and in a glass or whatever, and it was like $5, like, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
It was very reasonable, but, and I was like, what is this? It's sweet, but it's kind of, I'm like, why does it say wine in it? You're just like all these questions, but you're like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. It's not a stout. It's not a porter. It's definitely its own category.
Yep.
You know it when you taste it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think, so raising men that can, just raising children that can think through these type of things that, I do want. I mean, I have my son in my class, and that we're talking about these things, and I do want him to raise him with a healthy skepticism of new ideas, in the sense that new ideas that have a different philosophical foundation, that test everything, question when you go to test something, you also have to question it, and it's not necessarily
it's a scientific method.
it's not like I default don't believe you. It's just like, okay, what do you mean by that? Asking qualifying questions. Okay, if a government is suggesting hey, we're going to build this thing. Okay, well, where are you going to get the money? And
we have to expect if it's coming from the government. This is not because of any biases on my end. It is just because we have to suspect the government is generally going to be bent because they're made up of humans.
Well, also they don't produce anything, so they have to get. Yeah. They only take. They don't.
So we have to be like, it is. You are better off being naturally suspicious of whatever the government is doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what? Not just taking things as they're fed from the government or from any entity, but just being a critical thinker, and wanting to raise sturdy people that can not freak out with things and also have questions, and be able to engage in debate without freaking out or just throwing up your hands. 'Cause that can be an equal temptation.
Definitely.
Yeah. And as far as, as you just continue to go along and you meet more and more things that are frustrating, it can be tempting to just want to forsake it all. And it actually is easier to not have a family and to just be a loner. Yeah. And but that's not how God made people.
It's easier, but man, it sucks.
It's not as fulfilling.
It's not as fulfilling. Like, I can't imagine any other way.
I do that thought experiment every once in a while, like,
oh yeah.
What if?
Yeah. There's times where I'm like, man, just hit the road, have no responsibilities.
Cheaper, easier, and then I'm like, but I don't want to be 60 and no grandkids and no nothing,
Totally.
I am thankful for the work and thankful for, seeing progress and seeing and looking forward to those days of, a different kind of burden and a different kind of joy.
Yep.
I'd take all the strife, the upfront strife, to get that payoff.
Totally. It like the unregenerate Josh that would just seek after my own thing would totally be like, living right where I'm at and never leaving.
Yeah, right.
It's funny, like my dad, his dream was to live in a cabin in the mountains, and he got that. Mm-hmm. And, for about 10 years, something like that. And there's so much good that comes from it. Fortunately, I think if he had never met my mom, then that we would have never existed if he had found that. But like, I get it. Like, it is so nice. And I have friends that don't have the same mindset, the same worldview, that seek after, just living on their own without any responsibility. And it is like a crazy thing where it might feel really good for, 20 years, let's say from 18 to 40. And then after that it's got to be the most dead feeling in the world, because you don't have and
you try to fill the void with like whatever it is, buying stuff or going out with friends and stuff. And it's like, cool. And then what?
Exactly. Exactly. That is it. Like it is. I'm thankful that God has arrested me and has not given me everything that I want.
Right.
Because it would just be such a dead end. And I'm so thankful to have the children that I have, to have the wife that I have. I mean, being married is the hardest thing ever. Having kids is so much more difficult.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine living without that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. And even throwing this in, being a teacher where you are having the ability to be deepening, eternal souls, especially in our environment, in a Christian school environment. And we had, parent-teacher conferences this week, and this is we've only had day one into that,
right?
But it is really cool at our school to have the parent-teacher conferences that we get to have, and to see how invested they are into their children, and that they are including us in that investment. Is a huge responsibility, and it's fun and it's scary, and I love that aspect too. I get that with now with my family. I get to have my family in the same school in my work environment, and now I get to have that as part of our church and everything. I mean, it's just, I did not get what I wanted out of life. I got so much more out of what I really wanted. It was such a shallow view of life when I was 17, 18 years old and looking what I really wanted to do.
Right.
Knowing that I wouldn't get it even at that time. Not knowing how much more that I would get out of it.
Right. And that's when I hear, I've had people I went to high school with that, talked about, I remember, Kim showing up to career day, acting like a pregnant woman or whatever, because she wanted to raise kids. Like that was her idea back then.
Yeah.
There was so much scoffing and so much like, okay,
gosh.
And just like people dressing up as all kinds of,
yeah.
The one wanting to be an astronaut and the other, wanting to be who knows what. Especially as
I really wanted to be an astronaut and I didn't get everything I wanted. I just got to be an ass. I don't know who that was.
Right. But
it might have been my brother.
Especially as women, those that, had big career goals and big, like family is like the last. I got time to figure that out. It's like, actually, like I think God made you, like even in talking about, because what is the one put out by Canon Press, the Eden one? Eve in the Exile.
Yeah.
Talking about femininity.
Easy for you to say.
Right. And just how it's been corrupted, like our perception of it through the ages, historically, via society and different things. But then how the glory that has been shadowed and covered in leaning into like being a wife, being a mother and raising kids and the glory in that work. It's like, I hope every man gives his wife like confidence that anytime anybody asks her what she does for work, she's like, I'm building souls, or I'm, like, you are doing good work. Do not feel like your work is
100%.
Dumb or somehow substandard to the person who works as a secretary at the dentist's office. You know, like, good job. Yeah. Like, maybe that's where you need to be right now.
Yeah.
But also, you're not doing lesser work by now. If you're forsaking raising your kids, and you could easily give up conveniences or in order to be home with your family, then maybe that's evil. But
well, we've got some pretty badass wives in that they are incredibly productive in the home, and then also will choose certain times of their lives to go outside of the home and be productive. And I know for like my wife, she's just like, man, it is so much easier to go outside the house and work.
Yeah.
It's harder work at home, but it is more fulfilling. Going outside and, for her making, parts that hold wings on airplanes is a cakewalk compared to...
I mean, they don't talk back.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
You're going here.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I will cut this part off of you.
Yeah.
You can't say that to your kids
right.
and, stay out of jail.
Right. But they... Yeah, I read a story recently where there's some sort of very wealthy man in California. Big news. Of course there is. But,
a wealthy man in California.
He's like one of the biggest like real estate moguls in California or something, LA area or something like that. And like it sounds like his son, like he was obviously not present for his son's life, just completely absent father. And his son basically tried to leverage his dad's name and tried to get this like whole, like it was some sort of like man cave idea, like luxury, like for the wealthy man cave, like I don't know if it was like a design firm or a whole solution where they design it, they build it, they whatever. Yeah. Anyway, he designed this whole thing and using his dad's name, implying that he could get his dad's money or his dad's backing. Couldn't get any of it. Ended up running off with like just stupid stuff, running off with the money. Just dragging his own name and his dad's name through the mud. And basically his dad came out and was like, yeah, I haven't talked to him in 20 years.
Wow.
And like talk to him, not, and his public statement was, we have absolutely zero personal or business relationship. Can you imagine saying that about your son?
No kidding.
And so like, I just was thinking like, to think that you have succeeded in life by amassing a massive fortune, and then to not even want to have a relationship with your son because you've created what now you now hate. You created a child, and you abandoned them, and now they're just a scorn on your name.
And they never got anything from you, and the one thing they try to get from you doesn't work out too.
Yeah,
like that's,
yeah.
Oh,
and I mean,
painful.
the son sounds like a scumbag, but also.
But where do you learn that from?
Exactly. Yeah. You're being like your father.
Yeah.
You learn that.
Yeah,
from
he
someone.
actually taught him to do exactly what he did.
that. Yeah.
And he got all the reward from it.
Right. So
It's
like,
painful.
I want more for my kids.
Yeah.
Like even if it's just instilling in them a backbone and a love for the right things, and maybe I don't have a massive fortune to pass off, but honestly,
man, the fortune is in
the families that have a massive fortune typically don't turn out well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 100%.
When there is that if there's that to pass off, there's that to fight over.
Yeah.
And that is often even amongst the best families, whether there's outside relatives or whatever that want to fight over that. But and not to say money is evil in and of itself. It's just it comes with its
I'd
own.
like to back up whatever I'm giving my kids with a couple cool million in cash for them to have.
Yeah,
but,
it's not. But there's a reason why. Jesus used the eye of the needle. That it's easier for a camel to pass through than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And then the disciples are immediately baffled, like, well, then who can ever?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, it's, there's a lot of loves that get weighed down by the things of this earth, and that's a burden we'll no longer have to have when we're glorified.
Well, and that's I mean, like, I've had the privilege of growing up in Bellevue, and my first
Back when it was horse and buggy.
No, my dad did. And I've been hearing those stories, but also like I've worked in state reps' homes and high end businessmen homes and guys that run the Seattle Art Gallery and Museum and just seeing like somebody having a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 rug, this is 20 something years ago, and they cut a hole in it to run, the wires for their home theater system. And, like just, $1 million statues in their lawn, their lawn art,
Yeah.
In my land, it's, a tractor, is lawn art. And in their land, it's, bronze Winnie the Pooh. Look it up. I'm not even joking.
Wow.
And then having, relationships, from our days back there, and just seeing wealth and some families really, they have great relationships, and a lot of families they don't. And it's would I love that money? 100%. That'd be fantastic. But it's never been a priority. Having literally, I mean, I think a lot of guys look for the job, the thing that gives them, status, the right job, the right car. And for me, I remember being 14 years old and reading books on how to be a good husband, because that's what I wanted to be, and I love it. And I'm not the good husband that I want to be, but I would take what I am over having a bank account that was just stacked. or having, a 10,000 square foot house with all the cars in the garage and that kind of stuff. I've seen it. It doesn't bring happiness. What brings happiness is what you're investing into your people and honoring God in that process. So I'll take that any day over wealth. I don't even think that the wealth is anywhere related to money. That's usually a sense of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rare person that can have family wealth and financial wealth. So
sure. I think when I was 14, I was still reading Road and Track and looking at Porsche 911s. But when I was like 18, I was really wanting to be a father, and husband and father. But
I wasn't reading great books on it, but I honestly was like
Dr. Dobson.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What does this weirdo have to say?
God rest his soul in the best way.
Did he really? Yeah.
We lost a lot of people this year. I think
true.
Dobson passed away this year. Vodi Bakum.
Really? Oh man.
MacArthur.
That's interesting. I actually was thinking about that. I think around the time that Vodi passed. I used to have Dobson's radio show intro memorized. It's interesting.
Back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, well, whatever you're doing, I think, just...
Oh, yeah, you did. Well, that's August. Wow.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was in the latter half of the year. One of those A months.
Yeah.
But I would just, encourage you to lean into what you have and wherever God has you in life, maximize it because we don't have much time left. And, we talk about the defiance and obedience concept largely because it's a way to represent the tension in life where, there naturally will be things that, one of the designs that I made says obedience to Christ, or defiance is required for obedience to Christ. And so there's always going to be a tension. There's going to be something, whether evil or just not what you're called to, that you're going to have to defy. Like in the case of Adoniram Judson, defying his father, who thought the best thing for him was to be the next runner-up pastor at the First Baptist, whatever. But he felt
not a bad goal,
right? And he felt called to the mission field, and so he felt in order to obey Christ's calling, he needed to defy his father. So it might not necessarily be, evil outright, but also there's also a lot of evil to defy.
Well, defying your own wants, like I was saying, that has been really good
for the bigger wants, like what you actually want to, defying little petty wants today to give your children good things long term. So there's lots more that could be said, but we want more than anything to be an encouragement to, there's lots of things that weigh down on our souls and on the day in, day out of parenting or, being a faithful husband. Just life is heavy. And there's plenty to laugh at. There's plenty to be thankful for, even on the worst days. And hopefully you found something to lean into in that regard and embrace that defiance and obedience with gladness.
Yep.
All right.
That's my wise words.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Contraritics. Tune in next time for another dose of guns, beer, and contrarianism.